It's Super Bowl week, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The Super Bowl, big game, snacks, commercials that have gotten worse over the last few years.
Pretty Beast
But
halftime show.
yeah, this one might actually be exciting. But the biggest thing about Super Bowl is gambling, whether it be Super Bowl square boards, whether it be betting on games, whether it be your normal over-under point spread, who's winning betting. We here on GG Sports Podcast love to do DraftKings. So let's put together a Captain's Mode DraftKings lineup for the Super Bowl against the Los Angeles Rams with the best offensive coordinator in the NFL
Easily.
and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I mean, actually, before we move on, I'm going to actually ask everybody to subscribe to our channel. And if you like our content, hit that bell and you'll get notifications to receive more of it. And then from there, what are we thinking here? I think, you already brought up the greatest. I mean, it might even be the best offensive coordinator of all time. Debatable. It's debatable.
Oh, Mr. Kevin O'Connell. Oh,
Mr. Kevin O'Connell. And I know what, saying that right away, he's coming into the Vikings, Skol Vikes, and he's going to get himself another top wide receiver in Justin Jefferson. And you know what he does with wide receivers. And that's why I think you have to start this off with putting Cooper Kupp in our captain spot.
For those of you that don't know, captain spot, you can see right up on the top here. They cost 1.5 times more than their original cost, but they get 1.5 times more of the points. So obviously, unless you're going with like a sleeper lineup and hoping it pays off big, you want to put I always like to put a big name in that first spot because they're going to get points. And like you said, what bigger name than the second best wide receiver in the NFL behind Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. So.
Who's coached by the best offensive coordinator in the NFL. So you just, I mean, Kevin O'Connell, who knows how Cooper Kupp will play next year without Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell might make Cooper Kupp, but hey, right now he says Kevin O'Connell. So let's roll with it. I mean, we're picking the most expensive guy right off the bat. So we're going to be digging deep here. Eventually,
right. Here, but you look at other options. You could go with another good receiver, the second best wide receiver on the 2019 national championship team in Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But since we're going Cooper Kupp, and since we're talking about the greatest offense ever put together by the offensive coordinator of the Rams, you almost want to toss the quarterback in there with him, don't you?
Yeah, you got it. I mean, we're already starting big. We might as well go big. We're already committing to having a couple cheap guys that we need to get like a random good reception or whatever. So we might as well keep it rolling with Matt Stafford at quarterback. And then saying that again, I think this is going to be a high scoring game. And you got one of the swaggiest people that I've seen in the NFL in a while playing in the Super Bowl in the boy, Joe Burrow, the second best quarterback to ever play with Justin Jefferson.
Right behind whoever's starting for the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's go, Kirk, Captain Kirk. I say we put Joe Burrow in there.
Let's do it. All right, I like Joe Burrow. I always have. I kind of have a miniature man crush on Joe Burrow. I mean, if we didn't have Kirk Cousins, I would like us to have Joe Burrow as our quarterback. But
favorite artist is Kid Cudi. I'm a huge Kid Cudi fan, so let's go.
He's the boy. All right. What else are we looking at? So we've spent a lot of money so far.
Yeah, we barely have any money left.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the lineups here. Like, I don't think we're gonna want to put in a Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, and Odell Beckham Jr. T. Higgins maybe still might be a little bit too expensive. Tyler Boyd's there with 5,400. You know what's? I'm gonna look at. You know what's crazy to me? How they put backup quarterbacks at higher prices than some of the receivers and other players.
Yeah,
like, it's so weird.
I think it's just in case like someone gets hurt or something right before the game or something.
I forgot that Cincinnati has Minnesota Vikings training camp wonder boy Joe Browning, Jared Browning.
I can't even think of his first name.
Justin Browning. I don't even know. I'm sorry.
Browning. Everyone knows Browning, the quarterback. Jake Browning.
Oh my god. I don't know, man. What are you thinking? I look at tight end, and they, Joe Burrow likes to throw to his tight end. Last time we picked Uzomah, and he got hurt right away, and it kind of screwed us. But I do like CJ Uzomah. It sounds like he might have a good shot at playing. How do you feel about Uzoma?
Other than him getting hurt for us, he had to have been one of the most, what's that word called? Valuable picks, like per how much he cost. Yeah, value picks
Yeah.
all through playoffs and at the end of the season in general. He was always cheap. He always performed up until his injury or whatever. So I think at 4,400, I still think that's a steal for him. How much he gets targeted all the time. So I like him, and especially because as far as like actual starters, there's really not much left there. He's probably the lowest one I see on here. So I say we have to play him.
Want to
Put
go
him
with
in.
him?
I mean, he still costs 4,400, so we're gonna have even less money, but we're gonna have to do something,
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm looking at this list. The man, the myth, the legend, who has kicked the Cincinnati Bengals into the Super Bowl, Mr. Clutch, beat the Vikings week 1, should have beat the Packers in week whatever, celebrated too early.
Mm-hmm.
Evan McPherson.
Yeah.
We got to go cheap. Kickers, I don't normally love drafting them, but sometimes if it's a high scoring game, kickers
Yeah.
can be
I think it's going to be a
valuable.
high scoring game, and I think a kicker is a great value pick for a high scoring game. I almost wish we had enough money so we could pick 2 kickers, but we do not. So yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
McPherson is probably one of the more confident kickers I've ever witnessed. I mean, the last 2 games, game-winning kicks.
Especially as a rookie.
Yep. Him and Joe Burrow both just have that swagger to them.
I know.
Leaders.
I know. We need to bring that swag to Minneapolis.
Yeah. All right. Well, we spent a lot of money, so let's see what we can. Let's see what's left.
So now we have to go through the schnickel fritz of players.
There's 3 guys in the $1,000 to $2,000 range, and the rest are hundreds. Like that's kind of sad. But what do you do?
This is tough. I wish Henderson was playing. So you got Perrine up there. He's the most expensive guy. Which I mean,
is Henderson not playing for sure?
I'm not actually. I don't know.
Coach McVay has a good chance to return for the Super Bowl against Cincinnati.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That actually makes me definitely glad we didn't pick an Akers or a Sony Michel.
Right.
That's actually a good point. I don't, he's a guy who gets some receptions. So honestly, man, I might even like to take a chance on him if he was actually play. But right now, I definitely wouldn't unless he's 100%. So we might have to revisit that. We might have to revisit CJ Uzama anyways. There's not a lot here. I think the only guy that for sure will probably get at least a touch is Sammy Perrine.
Yeah.
And, I think last week he had a touchdown and
yep, I think he had
like a nice touchdown
last week.
So 3 catches,
4 targets, 3 catches, 43 yards
and a touchdown. I mean, I'll take a chance
if you're looking
on that.
If we're sold on this lineup here,
right,
and you do want to go with, he might be the guy you have to go with,
right?
Honestly.
And we can try to turn this thing around, but we just, they have Kevin O'Connell. It's a no-brainer to have Cooper Kupp as your captain and have at least Matthew Stafford. So
right. I mean, and the Bengals are going to have to throw and kick their way back into the game because that offense of the Rams is going to be high flying the whole time. So.
Right. Exactly. So let's plug them in there. Maybe keep an eye on Henderson throughout the week, and maybe we'll decide to do that. I'm not sure. That one's going to be difficult
because Akers is still questionable too. So
yeah, especially if Akers
plays and Akers doesn't, that could be a nice little switch there. But
plus, I think even with Akers, Sony Michel, and Henderson all playing, I feel like Henderson's still the best receiving back out of those 3. So
yeah, so enter it in, go for it.
Cooper Kupp, captain, Matt Stafford, easy. Joe Burrow, swag Burrow, CJ Uzama. I mean, that's value right there, especially if he actually plays. So we need to keep an eye on that. Man, there's just so much swag on this team. We got to go with it.
All right, I'll enter it in. And we're good to go. We got this. This team right here is stud lineup. Because sometimes running backs, Damian Williams a couple years in the playoffs came out of nowhere and scored a bunch of points. So maybe something happens where Mixon is ineffective and they use bring in Perrine in there for passing downs and whatnot. But I'm cool with this lineup. I think it might win us some. I think it might win us some money.
Yep, me too. And I think the Rams will probably win a Super Bowl, and then The GOAT will
KOC
be
comes
coming to
to MN
Minnesota.
and kicks ass
Yeah,
with a much better team than he had in LA. So I'm fine
right.
with it. But
Yeah.
anyway, that is our DraftKings Captain Mode Super Bowl lineup for the upcoming game. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts on our lineup down below in the comment section. Let us know if you like what we went with, what you would change. We won't listen to you. We'll just go with our lineup if we wanted to. But anyway, that's that. Check out some of our other videos up there if you would like to. And also, most importantly, don't forget to hit the subscribe button or the icon down here to subscribe. And we will see you guys next week.
Skol Vikes.